one digit or letter as your license plate, or 2, have a good day, man, or 3, or 4, or 5, or it's like not just 6. Like you don't have to have 6. Does that make sense? There's 2 questions if you want to start mulling this around. Is how many possible license plate combinations, and now remember, every spot can be a letter or a number. 0 is different than O. Literally, one of them has a slash in it, and the other one is just open. So 0 and O are 2 different things.
There are slashes.
And one of, I think it's the number 0 is like the number, but with like you can tell it's not a 0 or it's not an O. All right, so we're not going to solve this right now. Womp womp, sorry. So really quickly, what we're going to do is go look at Khan Academy, because that's where we left off last time, talking about functions, right? So I believe when we ended class last time, we were discussing, and this we should look at this because it'll jog your memory. We were discussing the vertical line test.
Oh, I did that one.
We were discussing interesting like functions versus non-functions, because they can still be a relationship even if it's not a function. It can still be an equation even if it's not a function. Like this is y equals x squared. It's modified a little bit, but it's a y equals x squared. This is just x equals y squared. It's modified a little bit, so that's not exactly what it is, but they're still equations even when they're not functions. So then we were talking about these, right? Input, outputs.
Wait, hold on. I got a question.
Yes.
Could you go back up?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
That one where it's just a straight line.
This?
I
Or
got
this?
the one to the left.
Horizontal?
Yeah, I got one of those. It was a negative, and I got that wrong. Like it was.
Oh, it was
that.
down here?
Yeah, I ended up getting that wrong.
So if I buy a motorcycle, because I kind of want a motorcycle, and I buy it for $5,000, I owe the bank $5,000. And if there's no interest, and I do nothing, the function of what I owe the bank is negative $5,000, right? Or my balance with the bank, and it just stays like that until I do something to it. So it is a function. Does that make sense? How even if it's a negative number, the function of what I owe, or the function of my balance, would just be negative 5,000. Now, if I start paying back $100 a week, it'd be negative 5,000 plus 100 W. And then it's linear, but it's not proportional. Remember, we've got all these different classifications of if it's a function, is it linear? If it's linear, is it proportional? And to be proportional, you need that 0, 0 point. Right? You got to have that 0, 0 point to be proportional. And then we were talking about these, right? The inputs, outputs, that every input can only have a single output, but outputs can have multiple inputs.
Whoa. Wow.
This one, it's like the cursive, some crazy cursive animal. All right, so what I wanted us to go look at is these situations and make sure that your con is making sense. Some of you guys make Khan Academy harder than it is.
This
And
one
when you see problems like this, I want to make sure that you know how to deal with these things. So it says the illustration below shows y is a function of x. They automatically tell you it's a function, or sometimes they tell you it's not a function, it's a relationship. This graph is, all they want is linear or non. So when we look down, is it a straight line? No. The y-intercept of the graph, where it hits the y-axis, right? 0. The x-intercept, where it hits the x-axis, would be 6. But wait, and 0. Wait. This is where some of you are going to get frustrated. If you don't read the directions, not my fault you got it wrong. So I can't do 6, 0. I need to do 0 and then 6. I need to put them in order. Because when we read graphs, we read left to right, guys. Just like you read language, we read left to right. Greatest value of y. This is where people start to get confused and they're like, wait, what? The greatest y, right? The highest the graph ever goes. What is the y value at the highest point is what they're asking us. 9. So y is 9 when x is 3. And that's actually called the maximum of the graph. And for x between 0 and 6, the function y is y greater than 0, less than 0. What? This is why I wanted to go over these. This is saying when we're in between 0 and 6, when our graph is in between x of 0 and x of 6, is the y greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0? It's greater than, and in a couple spots, equal to, right? So it's greater than or equal to. So that's how we deal with that type of problem in
Oh,
Khan.
you have like an actual Khan Academy account?
Yeah, like a student account. Yeah. Now here's the crap of it. I'm in 3 classes at once, man. I got so much homework. It's all stacked up.
Wait, go to your past.
Yeah, can we see your past assignment? No, from
Oh, that's goals. Oh, I don't do it like.
Mr. Hudson.
I'm behind. I got this done. I got.
Good job.
Hey, some of you look like this every now and then when you got a list of stuff that you need to do.
He's just doing the reality.
All right. At this point, what I would like.
What is your bio? Math teacher at Phoenix Middle School, a math program where students understanding and applying their knowledge is the core focus.
Where was Dewan when we needed people to read in connections? Right? Where was Dewan?
That really is like a teacher.
Here's what we're about to do right now.
Yes.
Everybody, get out a piece of paper that we're going to label.
Label a piece of paper.
Sorry, I'm half listening to the radio.
We're hiding in my garage.
Mr. Flynn says he's hiding.
Why is this?
Yes, he's hiding.
Is he hiding me in this chicken costume?
We could hide and seek with this.
Oh, I do need to wear my penguin costume to school.
Wait, what?
We could do it as a math thing. Like you say he is blank amount of feet away from here.
Or he'd have to coordinate.
Or we have to calculate how far away he is.
Or Mr. Hudson hides, and he just needs.
Here's what's up. If you are already done with your linear functions work, I just assigned our linear equations and functions unit test. If you're not, and you need to catch up, everyone brought devices, right? Did we all bring computers like we were used to before winter? So pull out your computer. This is why on the first slide I said today is going to be kind of a work day. I want to know if we are stuck on anything. I want to take your questions right
I
now.
had a whole bunch of stuff.
There you go.
But since I was having so many like tech issues, I just made some stuff.
You could have still emailed me. Like taken a screenshot and emailed me. I would have responded, man.
I forgot we could do that.
Yeah, take a screenshot. So, here's the deal. I'm going to trust you guys for a second. While I run to the restroom, I'm going to let another teacher know, like, hey, checking on my class, or if they sound loud, go check they aren't burning down the new school. I'm going to run to the restroom real fast.
Totally do that.
Hey, so I'll be back in like a minute. What I need you to do is if you're struggling on anything, take a screenshot and send it to me. If you're not ready to be done with the homework that is due tomorrow, you got to realize you got to do it today/tomorrow. Like, don't let yourself start quarter 3 by getting behind. If you're all caught up on everything else and you've already done the quiz, start the unit test. Because honestly, if I called it like cheeseburger pancake, like you guys would, unit test makes it sound scary, but don't just ignore that it's called a unit test. You're ready. If you've done everything else. You cannot start the unit test if you have other prior work to work on. Okay? Yes. Yeah, I think Miss Allie has a bunch in her room.
One of her cards is
I couldn't do it. It's not a debate. Waffles are way better.
It tastes the same.
Wait, no, I love it.
We always eat just use biscuit.
They are not the same. Waffles are so crispy, it's amazing.
Biscuit is really good.
Biscuit is when we make pancakes and cakes, you just use biscuit.
Yeah, biscuit is really good. You just have to work.
More milk. I don't have hair. I like those slow. I prefer cinnamon. Sorry, I'm having meditation every single time I am doing sinus. Right now, we have a unit test, so I really don't need contact to email me and say, now it's time to unit test. I get messages from Matt.
Yeah, I get messages
from
from Matt. I only get messages from Matt when I get a master. I don't put it on her.
Since it's both my account, I just don't have
I don't have a personal account. Well, I think I do, but I don't know anything about it.
You know my dad?
I have a personal account, but my dad never told me the password for the email because he created it like years ago. No, he was saying for Discord, I don't know the password. The one day that it wouldn't let me log into Discord, I had to ask him for it. It wouldn't let me log on. And it was so annoying. He's recording the doorway.
Yeah, it's coming from that camera.
Wait, and all of your,
I'm sorry. We all just like run inside and wait.
Wait, what do we make a video great? And we all just start dancing on the camera.
Oh my gosh.
And then we just sit back down and we like upload.
Oh crap.
No, it's like this, you know, they have it on camera and you have to be like, sit there.
Wait, oh, we are on.
No, it's just like, he doesn't check the video because he thinks that you're responsible. And then we all go up and start like dancing in front. And then we all run back to our seats and just sit there. And then when we upload the video, and then when he had it, then he shows the video to the group. Oh wait, I just talked to the door not so long.
Yeah, Charlotte, I saw you.
Oh yeah, what was I like? I'm so bad. I'm very focused. I'm focused on walking. Yeah. I always whenever I do it, it's so wrong. I'm so committed to like my face looks super neat. I'm just like, my mom always drugs. What?
Sounds like you're enjoying math. How dare you? Did I get this turned back on now?
Imagine she heard you pee and just go silent.
I was about to say, I did not take this in the bathroom with me. Don't worry. I left it outside.
Mr. Hudson, we were talking about maybe running.
Leaving? You mean like running away?
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
We were talking about like running in front of the camera and just dancing, and then
Oh, yeah,
you
'cause it's
upload the
on.
video, and it's just us dancing.
Yeah, I forgot. Whatever you guys talked about or whatever while I was gone is in the video.
Well, we have an argument at the beginning about if waffles or pancakes were better.
Cinnamon rolls are best.
And they're clearly insane because they say that pancakes are better.
I didn't say pancakes.
Pancakes
They taste exactly the same.
Waffles are crispy and waffles are crispy and amazing.
Yeah,
They're so
exactly.
beautiful.
Look at that crispiness and then think about
It depends on who makes it and how
you
you make
get that little crunch with that nice fluffy
cheap.
feel.
And in some cases, pancakes. And you can do more with a waffle than you can.
Exactly.
Actually, no.
I figured maybe I needed to raise my hand and somebody would call on me.
Mr. Hudson,
So no one's emailed me anything. So if you need help, I want to talk about this stuff. Otherwise, we can move on to the next unit. But guys, I don't really like. So I normally start the next unit before we honestly take like the final mastery for the previous unit, because people are still wrapping up their work and need a little bit of time to catch up if you're behind. But I don't have to start the new unit today, right? This week is super awkward. Discovery Day is at the end of this week and everything, so I don't have to move on. But if we're just going to sit here and fart around and argue about waffles, I'm going to start the new unit. So I'm not going to waste a day that I could potentially teach. But I want to take your questions first. So if you need help with anything from Khan Academy, I'm not going to say, okay, Dewan emailed me this. I will keep things private and just say, okay, one of you sent me this. Let's talk about this.
I have something.
No.
83?
No.
What is it?
80. And if you're stuck below 80, just email me. Like-
80?
Yeah, we made that change back before break.
It
Do you,
said
do
83.
you really want to go down this road?
I mean, last I knew it was 83.
Well, pause.
So I haven't. I'm gonna finish my. I have like 2 weeks literally last night. So I'm gonna finish that and then go on to the
Do you need help?
new stuff. If I need help, I will.
I was about to say, you don't really have to come explain this to me right now. I assume that you guys are all getting caught up if you need to.
I'm about to email you. I know. I made it.
80% in Khan Academy is a check. I bet you I announced it even before then. Did we talk about this?
I thought it was 83.
It was. And then I made it easier.
Oh.
So, guys, if you're stuck beneath an 80%, that means either the question has like an awkward not 4 or 5, and if you're stuck at a 75%, you really should try to get 4 out of 4 on those assignments. If you're stuck at a 3 out of 4, chat with me about why. I bet there's a mistake that through talking with me, we can figure out.
You really need to fix the chords. This is really bothering me.
You really need to realize that I have not even been in this classroom for a week.
I know.
You're lucky that that screen is even working.
When I do my, I recently redid all the chords that was holding in my PC.
Oh, I agree with you. I need to clean them up, but notice that I can't see them right here. Look at how many USB cables I have going at once.
Yeah, that's about right.
I need to clean some things up.
Oh, Logan, you want to come see my desk at home? It's a complete mess. Mr. Hudson, and also my cords.
Yes.
I emailed. They're tangled that.
Awesome.
The only ones that aren't are my phone cord and my computer cord. These are the only 2 I have.
Dude, if you come to my house, my cords are all like through a track attached to the wall, like nice and neat and like, or bundled up in one like snake of
But that's
cables.
nicer than I do mine. I just set mine out, no tangles.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've gone beyond
my
that.
stuff looks so good right now because I got some new pieces for my PC and I had to redo my cables. It looks amazing right now. You get my email?
All right, yeah. So I'm really glad that we're asking questions about the whole like how do we write our own function, because I figured that some of you had to be struggling on this. In a situation, sorry, I have to get back to our current slide since I had to go back to December and explain to Logan that he just must not have been paying attention.
No, I think that's the day I was late.
Well, maybe you should have gone back and watched the video.
What type of plant is that?
But I wasn't like late enough that you had.
Succulent, not quite sure about the name, and then bamboo. The tall one is bamboo. It's as old as my kitchen remodel. So I feel like 2 years ago, I think either 2 years or 3 years ago this past winter, but I put it in an IKEA kitchen and I bought that at IKEA when we were doing the kitchen stuff. And I've kept it alive. Because it's bamboo, it's not that hard to keep alive. Alright, so this question about Dominic using 20 grams of filling for each dumpling he makes, and he has 1,500 grams of dumpling filling. The grams F of filling, guys, and this is legitimate, like, math that you will do in the real world. Maybe not dumplings, but, like, you'll start with a quantity and want to figure out, well, how many can I make? Like, let's say you were making masks for people, and you had a certain amount of fabric. We do the math to break it down. So the function F represents the amount of filling we have. So we always want to ask ourselves, do we have an initial amount that's positive or negative? And we do. We have an initial amount that's positive here.
Yeah.
Question, answer? So Dominic starts with 1,500 grams of filling. He uses, so we're going to go down, so either minus or plus a negative. You don't have to do plus the negative, I'm giving you options. 20 for every dumpling D he makes. So if we want to write it in the quote-unquote simpler way to write it, it'd be 1,500 minus 20 times D. Right, you always want to ask yourself, what is the dependent variable? What is the independent variable? The amount of filling depends on how many dumplings we make. So dumplings is our independent variable. I also had some people who I think we just met on AO and took care of things that way, who were struggling with the problems where it says make such and such variable the independent variable. The independent variable has all the numbers with it. The dependent variable is alone. I know that sounds backwards, but the dependent variable gets written on its own. So the dependent variable is like the name of the function. Guys, I would love to do more problems, but I don't have any more from you.
Wait, what's the lowest score that you have to have?
80 or like meet with me. If you're stuck below an 80, you just need to meet with me and talk with me about why. Yeah, 85. Is 80 below an 80 or is it above an 80?
I'm gonna send you another one because I just don't understand that.
So guys, the reason that I decided to do this today, and like I said in the start slide, I don't really like doing this,
It's not letting me finish it.
but it's, I don't know.
Maybe it's like to do with the file.
We
If
looked,
it's over 25 gigabytes, it won't let you send it.
It won't even let me.
try to take the screenshot again. Like just, remember do the Windows button, Shift S, do the snip. Enough of us needed to do enough work that most of us had not taken the quiz yet, right? Quiz 4. So that's why I wanted to take a pause and give you guys a moment. Now some of us have.
It just doesn't pop up.
Man, I don't know what's going on.
Like when I click the.
Do you want to join my Zoom and just screen share?
Sure, I got it.
Join my Zoom and just screen share.
I know, but I forgot how to do that thing when you exit.
If there is any math to be done for the unit test, you are writing that down on a piece of graph paper, right? If you need to actually compute things, you need to actually solve things.
I got this.
Are you still allowed to use calculators?
Dawn, what are you struggling with? Can you not find my link or what?
No, it won't let me. Take forever to present. Thanks, Don.
Mr. Hudson, as second other mind, I realize it's a lot easier than I thought it was.
Alright, we'll probably do one or two more of these and then we're going to make up some problems together to talk about the next unit we're starting.
Phoenix, please pardon the interruption. If we could please have at the class change before going to extensions, all band students, please stop by the auxiliary gym band room to pick up your instrument. All band students at the
Yeah,
class
so you guys don't
change
forget,
before
answer there's
going
no
to
congestion at the
extensions,
end.
Please stop by the auxiliary gym band room to pick up your instrument. Thank you.
Okay. Alright, Dawn. You can stay on my Zoom or whatever you want to do. The temperature of a chemical solution is 21 degrees originally. A chemist heats the solution at a constant rate, meaning that the slope will stay the same. Right? It will be a linear function since it's a constant rate. Well, mute that. Is my mic on? That was weird. Maybe I just heard an echo or something. I swear I heard myself.
I couldn't hear you.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just
So, T. The temperature of the solution.
I just don't know what it's asking.
Well, Dawn, what's the temperature start at?
21.
Okay.
So,
What's happening?
But it said C is. Oh, I thought it said C is X. So I was confused if the one of you at 21X. Okay, yeah. I didn't look at it properly.
Okay, well, the temperature is 21, but do they straight up tell us, the change in temperature?
Yeah. It changes to 75 after 12 minutes.
So that's the slope? So the slope is 75?
No, that's not the slope, but that's the.
So we have to find the slope. So we know our temperature is going up, and it went up by, well, crap. It didn't go up by 75, it went up to 75. Meaning the change in the temperature, 54. You really shouldn't need it. 54 over 12 minutes. So the rate that they are heating the solution at is whatever that division simplifies to. 4.5. Yeah. Dang it, they use X minutes. Yes, you're fine, dude. X minutes. Did you do e-hall pass? Did it let you?
Yeah.
I don't need to pull it up then. Yeah, guys, that's one habit we got to get back into is e-hall pass.
And also, we have to get out of the habit of just going downstairs and grabbing a snack.
I mean, if you get me one too.
Alright. Hold on, we'll be right back.
If you know where to go get snacks, grab me one.
Hey, I got money, I'll go to the gas station. I don't even know where it was.
Alright, so Sevi and Colin. You guys are going into business. Now, you're going to go into business selling doodads. Right? So, we're starting businesses. Draw a squiggly line across your notes. Unless more people ask me questions. Now, oh, you did? Okay. Never mind. We'll talk about doodads in a minute.
Can they sell children?
Oh, wait. A lot more people sent me questions. Logan said ignore that.
No, sell children.
Yes! We're still babies.
We're not. You guys are so weird. We're not selling babies. Babies are expensive.
Yeah, that's why you sell them.
So,
I know.
now wait, Colin, do you actually want to talk about this question?
Yes.
Okay. Like the one that you sent me? Okay. So,
I have no clue what I'm
a
doing.
weight is attached to a spring which moves up and down as a function of time. I might try to find this a little bit clearer. Interpreting graphs of functions. Give me a second. I'm going to find this question where I can show it to you so it's not so pixelated. So, notice that when we look at the graph, guys, the graph in my mind has a sound effect. No, like, for real. This is dangerous. This, boing, oing, 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 like, so its location, hold on, let's double check what the question says. Its location, P of T gives the position, we'll say position instead of location, position of the weight T time. It goes back and forth, right? Like, I bet you could figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
Man, these questions are so long, the view that I have is not much better.
It's just worded weird where I don't understand what being asked.
The one I saw, really, I only need help with the wall. I got the other.
Like the weight for
Here we go. This graph. Alright. I finally at least got the picture nicely. So, see, I'm hearing myself. It just, for some reason, my computer is like glitching out and it's spitting the audio of Zoom out my speakers.
That does that to me all the time. Like when I'm on FaceTime or something, or even on my computer, like I'll be talking and I can hear the echo of myself.
That's so weird. Yeah, I don't know why. So it starts when the time is 0 at 40. 40, whatever it is. Drops down to negative 40, springs back up to positive 40. Drops down to negative 40. So the weight is pulling it down, but then the spring is pulling it back up. But then the weight is pulling it down, but then the spring is pulling it back up. So this could also model like something rotating, right? When like, literally if you think about a point on a tire, guys, if you've never thought about this, it's kind of cool. If I like had a tire, and man, I wish I had something. If you think about the vertical height of a point on this bucket, right? Like, say, one of the edges of the handle. This height's maybe like a foot right now, right? So as time happens, it goes down to 0, back up to 1. I don't even know what's in this bucket. I maybe shouldn't be rolling this. But it just keeps going back and forth. This, mathematically, anyone know what we call this? Starts with an O. A fan does it when it goes back and forth. It's oscillation. So this, because it's an oscillating fan, if that's a name of a fan. Yeah, it's an oscillating fan when it goes back and forth. So this is called oscillation. So we look at the question. It says the graph is it's a nonlinear function, right? So it's like nonlinear there. The initial position of the weight is, 40, because that's where it starts.
It's just the third one that really goes.
Excuse me, the weight first reaches equilibrium. Note, we say that a weight is at equilibrium whenever P of t equals 0 centimeters. Looks like it. So that is like our sea level. If you think of a boat pitching on the waves, think about equilibrium being sea level, like 0. So that was the easiest way that was explained to me. Because to me, and I don't even want to say this out loud, equilibrium in my brain, and this is wrong, would be when it stops moving. But that's not true. Equilibrium, they define to us, is when P of t is 0, the position is 0. Now, a lot of times we start at 0, like that bucket situation. 0 would also be an equilibrium. Because if the floor is 0, right, if that was the bottom, but yeah, this one's just not true in this situation. All right, sorry, I got to go back to my email and check for more. Dawn, I'm going to end our Zoom because I think my computer is doing too much. Oh, it also probably got confused with which microphone to use. That's also probably what happened.
It could have been, I know sometimes when I'm like on the Zoom, like sometimes when I call my dad, she has these really loud speakers that her microphone then picks up again, so it sounds like you're coming, so it sounds like I'm talking back to myself.
Yeah.
Because her microphone, the speakers are right next to the microphone.
Honestly, these writing linear function word problems are very confusing. I don't understand what they're asking.
So back yourself up from that cliff and tell yourself, you got this. You just need to recenter. Let's talk about a couple of them. I just want you to shift your attitude first. Like that whole, I have no idea what's going on. Just take it one piece at a time. If we work through each of those and say, okay, can we find an initial value? Or can we find a rate of change? Work it one piece at a time. Sophia, are you mainly just wondering about the hang time question?
Yeah, I don't get what it's
Hang time would be how long the football is in the air. So guys, Sophia sent me this question. And one of the questions is how long is the hang time? If I am a football player, and if you were one of my friends, you would understand how funny that is, and I am going to punch the ball. Right? I expected that to be better than it was. There will be an amount of hang time based off how long it is in the air. Right? But right now, the height is 0. Then I punt it, That was about as good as I thought it was going to be. Because now there will be that story of like, remember that time when Mr. Hudson accidentally kicked that tape roll? Okay, so, and I was really scared I was going to dump water on your computer for a second.
Actually, no, this is a really
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't damage anything. But yeah, so hang time is from 0 back to 0. So 3 seconds.
Oh, 7.
Because from the height of 0 back to the height of 0. Audrey? You might not be able to. I might have to go ahead and restart my Zoom. And I know. I might have to have you just log in my Zoom and screen share instead of having to take a screenshot. Because that's the alternative. If you can't take a screenshot to send it to me. Or, which assignment are you working on and which question is it? Or Logan might be smarter than all of us.
Wait, I know what it's like on my computer. Okay.
Do you see my Is it this part with the 2 lines?
I'm trying to get back to my email. Actually, that's where this is where my email is.
Then it'll automatically download some long string of numbers.
Ivan! James is playing his favorite game at the arcade.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, sorry, just give me a second to get this up here, but I've got your question. You gotta be really careful when they say such and such as a function of such and such. So when we talk about the general way that we write functions, we talk about y as a function of x. So one of the things that would be really helpful for you is if you jot down a note on your paper of y equals whatever times x plus whatever. This is y is a function of x. So, when they ask us to make the function t is a function of g, right? Strategically skip over some words. The number t is a function of g. We're going to have t is a function of g, meaning we're going to have t equals. Right? So what does t represent? Number of tokens. How many tokens does he start with? 20. What happens to his tokens? They go down. If he has 8 tokens, after playing 3 times, what did he spend each time? 4. So our slope is not positive like you had it written in there. It is negative. That's the problem. We have a positive initial value and a negative rate of change that is happening.
Doing all your assignments?
No. You see the string of numbers after like assignments.
Oh, these are fun. Hey, the off-topic conversation is really unhelpful for people that are actually like trying to focus and do work. And I know like I'm talking and explaining problems, but extra conversations really don't help. So Andre wants to fill a glass tank with spherical marbles and then fill the remaining space with water. The variable W models the amount of water in liters Andre needs to use if n marbles are used. So I kind of think about this every time I fill my water bottle in my fridge. Who else thinks your refrigerator spits out ice faster than water? Like, my water's really slow. I don't know if you have an automatic refrigerator, but like my ice comes out pretty fast. My water takes forever.
Yeah,
So I get a ton of ice, so I need less water. Right? This is this problem. How much water do we need in the tank when there are n glass marbles? Right, like decorative marbles at the bottom or whatever. Sebastian, you got a question? Got a comment? No, okay. Oh, you were just saying that yes, your water's slow? Alright, you just kept your hand up longer than I expected. So, if Andre uses n marbles, this means the initial empty volume of the tank is 32. The amount of water you would need if you use no marbles is 32 liters, right? They tell us we're talking liters up here. Each marble must be this rate, this amount, 0.05. So the volume of each marble, the amount of volume that it causes the tank to change by, for each one, the unit rate, right, is 0.05. So the volume of each marble would just be 0.05. 5/100ths. Sorry, I'm just going in order of how the emails hit. I have only 2 minutes left. Huh? No, I'll make that the situation for our lesson next week. I was going to introduce systems of equations. Now we're going to sell doodads. You really want to sell cows? Is that what you're saying?
Tyrone is confusing. I mean, it
I want to go
wasn't so
baby.
big.
That's what I really want to do.
No. All right, Tyrone likes to snack on his big bag of candy. He takes 8 pieces of candy from the bag each time he snacks. Tyrone, that's a bit unhealthy. After eating 18 snacks, there are only 6 pieces of candy remaining in the bag. So remember, 18 snackages, or whatever you want to say. Each snack time is 8 pieces. So number C of pieces remaining in the bag. This is a nice question because it's tricky in the sense of it's missing the initial value. Right? We're given the slope, kind of. We're given that every time he snacks, it's 8 pieces. And after he snacks 18 times, there are 6 pieces remaining. Yeah, so do 18.
I already have it.
What is it?
144.
144. So that,
I knew you would need it.
did you add the 6 already or not?
No.
So that 144 is the 18 snack times, right? 18 snack times got you 144 pieces. Plus 6 more means we have initial value of
150.
150. Minus 8s, because it's every time he snacks. With that, sadly, we are out of time. So I think I'm going to have Estes' extensions in here, but then anyone else who wants to come back to do more math, assuming I have space, I'll probably have Estes' people just go to the back of the room. Right now, if you're a band person, go get your instrument.
Unless you're me.
Then you need to go to your extensions room, check in with your advisor before you go do anything else. Right? If you are an Estes extensions person, you're going to end up in here. So, yeah, if you're Estes extensions, leave your stuff here.
I didn't get email before the time up, but can I ask it real quick?
I keep going, man.
For this one, I don't understand what they're really asking. The smallest positive x-intercept.
Sorry, my friend just threw shade in this text message. So I asked him if he had time to play chess because he works right by me. He said he'd love to come teach me how to play chess. Because I know how to play. He's just better than me. Sarah, you're going to want this. I know how to play. I'm not very good. That's the joke that he's trying to make. Hey, go grab a seat. I just don't want us to be all so close to each other. Take this. Grab a seat, but I'll keep doing them up here.
Do you want this back and it isn't?
Sure. I mean, I'll just stick it in my pile here. Thank you. Oh, I should stop the recording, too. Maybe I should make it that you guys got to tell me to